I can't quite say the same for Back of the Throat at St. Louis Actors Studio, written by Yusuf El Guindi. It's set very soon after 9/11, and the main character is a young man from somewhere in the Middle East. I don't know that we ever really find out which country, but he's a naturalized American citizen, and he's played by Alan David, playing Khalid. David has this great wide-eyed, bewildered, injured, innocent look, and he's visited by these two G-men, FBI maybe, who knows. Kevin Byer, kind of the cruder of the two, and John Pearson sometimes seems like the good cop versus the bad cop, although they can switch off on it. And they've come to question him because some people have been telling things about him that lead them to think he had some connection with another young man from the Middle East who had recently come to the country and apparently has been killed as a terrorist, although even that isn't exactly clear. There's a lot of ambiguity in this. That person is played by Joseph Garner, and we just saw him in flashbacks now and then. Barely a casual acquaintance, apparently, of Khalid. But he is the reason that these guys are visiting with this young man. And they also have talked to a librarian who, he frequented a library and apparently saw this other young man there, so the librarian has mentioned they're coming together. And they've talked to Khalid's ex-girlfriend who, and this is kind of obvious manipulation for the plot, I would say, but apparently they've just broken up. And she's down on him, so she says things about him that don't help at all. And also a pole and lap dancer at a night spot that apparently Khalid has been to a time or two, and maybe what she says about him is true and maybe it isn't. The three women are all played beautifully by Julie Layton, and delightful performances. Now, I must say that because what happens is this questioning goes on to where there is some physical attack on him, but even more, he's just totally shattered by the questioning, the young man is. And I found it hard to suspend my disbelief. Not that these things haven't happened, especially, not that ethnic profiling doesn't happen, especially after 9/11, but that it happened so conveniently here to make the playwright's point. It goes over the top with it, and doing so for me, I think it should be played as satire or parody almost, because it's so intense with what it is, and it didn't come across in that way. So I just had trouble taking with it. I mean, those G-men could be darkly funny in their excess and in their convoluted logic of suspicion.
Or they could be more human. I mean, it bothered me that the play about the humanity of the people who are being questioned doesn't quite give full credit to the humanity of the people who are questioning.
Yeah. I think David Waslak, the director, took it the way it was the playwright wanted to go, and it's a good cast with it. And Patrick Huber said, it looks like a young, poor writer's messy apartment. But I already agree with what the playwright's saying, but I wanted him to take me somewhere further than this does.
Absolutely.